Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. We are here in day 12 now of the game. This is the second day of the season where a power veto competition will be played. We do not know the veto players as of this recording, but rest assured, there are a million different things to discuss here, including at first we had Showergate, which really did not seem to be as big of a deal ultimately as the show made it out to be. Now we are entering Truth or Dare Gate.
Yeah, this whole truth or dare thing that happened on the show, on the live feeds, it's uncomfortable at best.
Yeah, it's just the situation that doesn't really need to be happening. And it's also something where the most important skill I think personally you can have in Big Brother is self-awareness. You need to just sort of recognize, what are these words that are coming out of my mouth? Are these words going to make other people feel bad? And if that's the case, should I just not say the words at all? Sometimes silence is golden. We all learned this when we were like 6 years old, right?
Especially in a game for so much money on the line. Information is power in this game.
Yes.
Silence can be very powerful in this game, and speaking to just the right people is extremely powerful in this game. It's hard at the beginning because nobody knows anybody that well, but
Yeah.
we are 12 days into the game now, so we are further along now where these types of things shouldn't be happening as much as they are.
Ashley, oh, Ashley. Okay, we will talk a little bit more about her as we get further into this video. We're also going to set the stage for the veto, what's happening with all of these different powers. Before we get into it, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yeah, we will be here with more daily Big Brother 27 live feed updates over the course of this season. We have had a really, really good time chatting with you guys in the comments. Please keep that going, and subscribing is, of course, an extremely great way to help support us, and also make sure you don't miss out on anything else we're bringing to you.
Absolutely. We really appreciate it. And if you want more Big Brother discussion to chat with us, you can head over to our Patreon. Leave a link for you below. Okay, so the nominations played out how we felt that they were going to play out. That it's Adrian, Keanu, and Kelly. They are the nominations right now. So it's not too much of a surprise.
No, there's nothing that's shocking about that. Depending on what happens with the veto today, like, this may not be that shocking of a week at all. Like, we all kind of have to have our hard hats prepared for that, because it just sort of feels like, Keanu, we have tried to be your champion. We have tried to defend you, but you're probably going home unless you do something this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a power, so it's possible you might be able to do something, and you might be able to win the veto. There's still lots of chances. There's the blockbuster, there's the veto, there's the magic power. He's got a bunch of ways to stop this from happening at this point.
Yeah, he does. I hope, Keanu, you could stop, causing yourself harm in this game and actually turn something around. But okay. Quick bit of clarity on the couple of powers that are important today. Mickey's power overtaking HOH, we can basically forget about that for the time being. Like, that's not relevant right now. So Kelly can seemingly, according to all the hearsay and the chatter in the house, she can play an individual comp that can apparently give her a second veto. It doesn't necessarily have to be played this week, but it's sort of a situation here where if you don't win the veto and you still feel like you're in danger, it's like, why wouldn't you just go ahead and play it and do whatever you can to stay safe?
Absolutely.
So Keanu's power apparently doubles his chances of winning the veto. It's still kind of not super clear about how exactly that's going to work. This is just what he has told Vince, but I still feel like that if this is something that is timed, maybe it gives him another opportunity. Maybe he's gonna declare someone else a champion, and then that person, if they win, there's a lot of different ways that can go as well, but this is Keanu's opportunity.
Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, tinfoil hat, production wants him to stay. He's messy. I feel like they want to continue to keep real chaos in the house. And I say real because I thought Jimmy was the real of chaos when he was putting all these like big acts together and big things together.
Yeah.
And then he becomes the HOH and it's wah, 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 meow. It's just so predictable and safe. And I get it. I
Yeah.
totally do. He wants to win the money, but he also wants to have big moments and big sound bites and be memeable. All of it is totally fine. However, as a viewer, I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, when he gets HOH, it's gonna be so messy. And it just was not. So far, not.
No, I agree. Production's gotta want Keanu to stay. Because let's all be real for a moment here. Is Keanu a good player? No, he is a very bad player. But at the same time, is Keanu going to bring television? Sure.
Yes.
Also, since when did we only watch Big Brother to watch people play well? Like, the whole idea of this game is the train wreck. Yeah, we can celebrate great players at the end of a season, but it's just like, it's the same reason why I would never want a season that's just a bunch of game bots who know what they're doing all the time. It's just, then we're going to get a bunch of people whispering and not being crazy and not making these big mistakes. It's just like, that's just not as much fun.
No, you need some messy players. I feel like, production is going to want Keanu to stay in the game. He has multiple opportunities to deal with this, and I think he will.
Yeah, so other people who could have been nominated as of yesterday, Riley was thrown around a little bit. Jimmy apparently he was too sad of a mood yesterday to nominate Riley.
God.
And, Will got a pass because he was hurt at that particular point, but we might circle back to those two a little bit later, depending on what happens today.
Right.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about Keanu here for a moment. And this is where, despite the fact that Keanu does not know when to be quiet, he just thinks he has to say everything that's on his mind. He's playing really, really messy. I still feel for him because he feels really isolated in the house and he's not involved in a lot of bigger conversations. And it's just, anyone out there who's been to a party and it feels like you're kind of just alone in the corner, and I've been to a lot of parties where I feel that way. It's just,
Same.
I'm always going to feel for that person, even if Keanu basically did it to himself at times. Like, I'm still going to feel for him.
Yeah, he's obviously done some of it to himself. Some of it is people seeing that and taking advantage of that because this is Big Brother. So if somebody's a bigger target than you, that's the way to go, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a mix of a lot of stuff that's happening, but it has all started with what he's doing. But I always find it really uncomfortable to watch that on the feeds where you kind of know someone's the target and
Yeah.
then the rest, it's always like expected that the rest of the house is going to kind of not necessarily ice them out, but you don't want to be associated with them because then you're going to go next and people are going to get paranoid and be like, oh, well, you're friends with Keanu. So if that's the case, then you also got to go. Like, and it's really unfair because, yeah, he's going to go, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're an ally. But because this is a game, it's the way that it plays out, but it's always just not fun to watch.
No, and that's why I'm in this weird, tricky position here where it's like, I really like Adrian. I don't want Adrian to be in danger. But at the same time, I'm also kind of like, would it be beneficial for all of us if both Keanu and Kelly find a way to get off the block? Because I think it would wake some people up. All these players are kind of just talking right now about things down the road. They're not really talking that much about this week because it just feels like this week is almost a given for them. And that's not the best entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Adrian to go home. I find him
No.
very endearing and I really like him. However, I have said that I'm here for the mess of it, and
Yes.
that is true. So, if these are the choices, then I do want Keanu and I do want Kelly to stay
Yeah.
just for the entertainment of it all. But I mean, there's still a lot of things to happen at this point.
Yeah, there is. And so we will watch and see how everything unfolds today and even beyond that. Because, yeah, like you said, we have Powers, we have Blockbuster, we
Right.
have other stuff. So if we are to think a little bit about replacement nominees here, it felt for a lot of yesterday like Riley still was going to be one despite his
Sadness.
sadness, despite his association with the heavy hitters with Jimmy. It still felt like that was going to happen. But then late overnight, Jimmy told Ashley that it would likely then be Amy, and this Amy's gonna go up on the block again. I don't know if this is a situation where it's just like, okay, Amy's used to it. She can go up. She's expendable. I want to protect my allies. Like, all of this, makes sense on paper.
Yeah, it's this basically it's a rinse and repeat of what's happening last week. The
Yeah.
same people are going up. It's a very safe move, although Jimmy doesn't know how close Ashley is to Amy and kind of what's going on over there. I mean, he doesn't really have any way to know that.
All right. So now we get into a little bit more of Keanu mess, which is a very specific type of mess, mostly caused by himself. So Riley, as those of you likely know at this point, he actually voted to evict Zay, and he hasn't really been owning up to it. But this has led...
And he doesn't have to. This is a private vote.
But of course, this has led to Keanu getting very, very paranoid, and there's a lot of sketchiness around him now, thinking that, did Will do this? Is Will the person who flipped? Which we know that's not actually the case. But then the other side of the house is just sort of like suspicious of Will with his vote, where we know that he voted to get rid of Amy and he voted to keep Zay. So Will has been kind of put into this like really tricky spot at this point where I think he's going to talk his way out of it. I think Will's still a decent player who made just kind of an error when it comes to landing on the wrong side of the numbers. But it's just like, Keanu, you don't actually know where anybody voted. I think this is not your cause to die on. You are not the Inquisition here.
I feel like if I was in this house, I would end up just going home because I'm not willing to share what my vote is. It's not your business. It is a private vote for a reason. And it's always very interesting to me how the majority of the house feels that everyone should share their votes. Oh, how did you vote? And how did you vote? We should all share our votes. Well, if that's the case, then everyone should just be sitting on the couches being like, who wants to vote for Zay? Who wants to vote for Amy? What is the point of having private votes at that point, so that you can throw hinky votes or you can actually vote for who you want to go home, so that it's not pressure from the house or everybody has to vote. I see you, the Dokes way of doing things. I see that you voted for so-and-so and now your target. It's private so that you don't have to do that. And everyone would just be suspicious of me because I'd be like, it's not your business. It's private.
Speaking of Dokes, be sure to check out our coverage of Dexter Resurrection. We're having a great time there. No, okay, so
3 videos a week.
Hey, okay, so we've gone from Keanu's mess here, and now we're going to transfer over to talk about Ashley's mess, because it feels like while there is a competition for who's going to win Big Brother, there's also a competition for who is the worst player on Big Brother right now, and it feels like it's neck and neck with Keanu and Ashley actively competing against each other.
Oh.
Ashley, okay, so Ashley is already plotting against Morgan and Mickey, despite the fact that she's kind of working with them. She's talking with Ava overnight about how she thinks they're working with Jimmy and Vince and trying to pull over Zach. So why are you talking about this?
Way to go, Girls Alliance. We just talked about this in a couple videos ago where it was like, oh, they're trying to get together this women's alliance. And then everybody was turning on Lauren because Lauren was like, sure, I'll be part of this alliance, because you always say yes. You're not going to, somebody can be like, hey, you want to be a part of alliance? No, I'm good, right? That's not going to be a thing that's going to happen. And then she took this information, which is power in the game, and brought it back to the people she's actually working with. Everybody does that. And man, people blew up online. Oh, she's not a girl's girl. She's not here for the women's alliance. And then you have this happening. And I want to hear from you people in the comments and on Twitter that Ashley's now running the bus, given the schedule to more of the women, and is taking them out. People that she's actually working with. And Lauren was not working with any of them.
Ashley, you can keep things to yourself. We all need to know less about each other sometimes, including your own game thoughts. Ashley is just, okay, you're trying to play 8 steps ahead here when it's like, how about you take the first step first? How about you just sort of be careful? Because here's kind of the ironic thing here is that Mickey's not really working with all these people, but Morgan kind of sort of is. It's not like all of Ashley's reads are necessarily that terrible. She just doesn't need to be sharing them. There's just no reason to have these talks right now.
Yeah, you can deal with it down the road. People are doing too much.
Yeah, it's like Ashley being suspicious about Mickey having a power. Yeah, Mickey does have a power, but it's like, who cares right now? Like, why do you need to pass along this information. It's just not important.
It's not important. Yeah, it's not important now, but we do know that Mickey's power is going to be a power that if she uses, it will be something that people need to figure out to be able to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
So she is perceptive on that. And she might be the person that's actually able to stop Mickey from using her power.
Okay, now we get into Truth or Dare Gate.
Okay, this is so irritating. Like, Truth or Dare in general is, a game that lots of people have played.
Yeah.
And lots of times there's a situation of like, ooh, so and so and so and so should kiss. Woo! Okay, but you are now here in a game for an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
Ashley has been pushing Lauren and Zach into a showmance for ever since she's basically been here. She's been pushing this and pushing this and pushing this, where, Zach is interested in Lauren. Lauren has said that she is not interested in Zach. That hasn't really materialized into anything because of that. And while he's interested, with Ashley pushing it and pushing it, it is starting to become where Zach is like, okay, I'm interested. But I don't want a target on me. And Lauren doesn't want a target for this showmance thing either. She has indicated that as well. So, but Ashley is not stopping pushing this showmance. She is like, this is strategy. I'm going to get targets on them. I'm going to get them together. That way they'll be the target and I will be less of a target. It is a strategy, but it is not working because these two are not getting into a showmance. So at this Truth or Dare, you've got, I think, Lauren and Zach should kiss. And it's so awkward because neither of them are here for this at this point. I'm sure Zach, as someone who has a crush on her, that's not the first kiss you want to have as an adult. If you're 11, sure, and you don't have the confidence to actually kiss the girl you like. But now, they're women and men, and they are full-on adults. And I'm sure that he doesn't want his first kiss with Lauren to be because somebody dared them to. He wants it to be because she actually wants to. And she, at this point, has said, no, like, I'm not interested. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not here for this. And that's what happened there, where it was like, it was getting really awkward, whatever. And Ava was like, no, we're just going to move on from this. This is not actually all right.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, first and foremost, let us know in the comments. Have you ever had a good Truth or Dare experience? Because I feel like no one has. And I will say I relate a little bit to what's going on with Lauren and Zach in this position, just because I've been involved in 2 different Truth or Dare games in my life where someone has either been dared to kiss me or I've been dared to kiss somebody else. And I think a lot of it was just because of the fact that I was somebody who I was not super entrenched into the world of romance for most of my teenage years / young adulthood. Like, before the age of 21, like, I had one girlfriend, and that was maybe for like 5 or 6 months or something along those lines. So it's like, I was in a Truth or Dare game when I was like 13 or 14 where I was dared to kiss somebody. I just kissed them on the cheek. And then while I was on television on Beauty and the Geek, I was in a Truth or Dare game where something similar happened, and I was pushed to really go through with it. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do this because I want it to be special. And it's just really uncomfortable. I think for people who are maybe more popular, they don't think of this stuff as that big a deal. They think it's like Love Island. See, once again, look at me referencing Love Island, even though I've only seen 2 episodes. I saw the first one and those people were kissing everybody.
Yes.
I was just like,
all
no,
season.
I don't need to do that. But it's just the situation where it's a really uncomfortable place to be if you're being asked to do something like this because it takes away all of the meaning. And this is just going back to Ashley then here. It's just like, Ashley, you're a grown adult. You're an attorney. It's like, you're very, very smart. You should know that putting people in an uncomfortable position like this isn't good. Like, Zach confirmed afterwards that he didn't like what Ashley is doing, and he hasn't liked what she's doing because, even though Zach is interested, like you said, he's not like Riley, who I feel like is willing to give his entire game away for Catherine. Like, he's actually trying to play, and I think he's in a really good spot. I think him and Vince are 2 of the better guys this season. Zach's not necessarily like a strategic savant, but he's just likable and somewhat self-aware. He's good looking. He's just someone who people just kind of naturally want around.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's really tried to push this and it has turned into nothing except irritating and bothering two people in the game, and not just one, but two. And eventually the two of them who are kind of working together are just gonna be like, we got to get her out of here. Like, she's really putting a target on us. She's pushing us into things that, they're not good for the game. That's not, whatever. It just needs to be squashed. It needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
They're either going to need to have a talk with her and be like, please stop this. And she may or may not, or they're just like, she's got to go. She's targeting us.
This has all ultimately led to Zach and Vince having this conversation where Zach is basically being like, he doesn't want Amy and Ashley to make jury, and he says that he doesn't feel like they deserve it. Now, okay, Zach, it's time to have a little bit of a talk here. I sympathize with you in some ways. You are not the judge and jury of Big Brother. You do not get to sit here and lay the verdict on who deserves something or not. Nothing is deserved in Big Brother. Stop this nonsense.
Yeah, like if you don't want them on jury because you don't think they're going to vote for you,
Yes.
then that is good jury management to make sure that you have people on the jury who are going to give you their vote. If you don't think they're going to give you your vote, get them out before jury.
Okay, now we move things over a little bit here to Kelly. Because, okay, the good news for Kelly is that Zach and Vince are talking about maybe having a final three with Kelly and then cutting her close to the end. She's somebody who clearly not a lot of people would want to vote for. But, Kelly, you are getting dangerously close to clown car territory. We've talked about this.
She's in the clown car.
So you're killing her fully there.
No, she's fully there driving around the house like a couple days ago with her whole like, I see you, I see your game. I'm like, oh, she's the first person that is in this clown car, fully honking her nose, driving around. It is complete clown car.
Okay, I think that the thing here...
To me, I think she's in the clown car.
Okay, she probably is in the clown car.
Yeah, she's taking the keys.
I think that what makes Kelly very weirdly entertaining in a way is just that we talked about bad players like Keanu and Ashley, and with those two, I don't think either one of them necessarily think that they're a mastermind. Kelly seems to think she's a mastermind. Like, Kelly is like telling Vince that, for starters, and this is just pertinent long term, like if you have one of these powers, you can't go around and lie about it and say, oh, this power does this or whatever else. Like, you can't use production as strategy in that way.
Yeah, which I think is kind of irritating because you're allowed to use basically anything else you want. And over on Survivor, you can make up powers all the time. Oh, what power did you get? Oh, I got the power of peanut butter and jelly. Awesome. That's a great power. Amazing. Actually, I got chocolate and tacos. Whatever it is, right? You're allowed to lie about anything, and it's part of the strategy. And with Big Brother, this is a game that is based on a lot of lies. Like, why can't you lie about your power? To me, it's not really about production, lying about production. You have been given a power. That power is in the game. It is no longer part of production.
Kelly then goes from this into, and who knows if this will be a recurring bit or not, her basically being like, I caused the Jimmy and Keanu beef. I spread the information. I'm the instigator.
Right.
I'm the queen of chaos. I am Tucker 2.0. It's like,
or Russell Hantz. You kind of sound like Russell Hantz.
I'm the best player of all time. Right. It just feels like, I don't know if Kelly thinks this is like Beetlejuice, where if she says Tucker's name 3 times in the house, Tucker is just going to appear. Tucker's not on this season. You can stop talking about Tucker already. Yeah. But ultimately, she's just all over the place. But despite all of that, she's taking the nomination reasonably well. Adrian is as well. I actually think it's going to help Adrian lock in a little bit and sort of realize more that, okay, I need to wake up. I need to maybe associate with some more people. I still really like Adrian. I feel like Adrian has a comeback in him. He has a second act. He can still do this.
Yeah, I just don't think he's really a target to anybody right now. And unless he's just, sort of pawns go home type deal that other people have figured out how to stay and, campaign better, all that stuff that he just might be going out because of that. But I think he's going to stay. Nobody's that threatened by him at this point.
No, I think he's not going to be threatening to anyone. I think this will help him wake up a little bit more. Hype yourself up, Adrian. Play this for your family. You told us you want this. I feel he's going to be okay. But now we turn into, yet again, another reminder that Zach is in a very, very good spot here. and talking about house guest choice, which they always make this huge deal of in the game. If you get the house guest choice chip, who are you gonna pick?
Absolutely. It can be used as strategy, but
Yeah.
it also, lots of people don't want to be up there being like, oh, I'm going to help take so and so off the block. Because
Yeah.
then you're definitely exposing who you're working with in front of the whole house.
So basically, Jimmy, Keanu, and Adrian have all gone to Zach and basically asked him to be a champion for them in the veto competition if they draw house guest choice and
Yeah.
pick him. Keanu basically said to, Zach basically said to Keanu, nah, fam, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this for you. He told Adrian that, like, oh, if I do this, it would probably expose us being close. We don't really want this. He
Yeah.
let Adrian down a little bit easier. I think Zach just doesn't want to make any waves. He'll probably just try to do whatever Jimmy ultimately wants him to do if he does end up
Yes.
playing in this.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to be riding or dying for someone at this point in the game to just expose who you're working with.
Okay, so now we're into a few odds and ends here as we start to wind down this video, starting with a valuable lesson to everyone out there. If you're going on Big Brother, I have a suggestion. Just read the Wikipedia. Go to the Big Brother wiki. Like, talk to some friends. Like, I don't know, DM a couple former players. Like, get some knowledge. Because Keanu, and this is Keanu, who I'm not sure how much Big Brother Keanu has ever seen. He had to explain to Riley that if Riley won the veto and used it, Riley would still be safe. How do you not know this? You were in the game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about it. I know that they have people who are recruits,
Yes.
people who haven't seen it, and sometimes that can be irritating for those of us who are like, oh, we want to see gameplay,
Yeah.
whatever. But we have also seen people go onto this game that are unfamiliar with the game, and I know everybody put on your hard hat. Like Paul, who didn't have a lot of knowledge of the game and went in and was able to be perceptive enough to like pick things up and go fairly far. Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes for me, those surprises are really nice to see.
Yes.
With Riley, it just feels like he's so focused on Catherine. He's got these other things that he's focused on, that he's not actually focused on playing this game. He seems like he's like this way more emotional guy than I thought. You a Pisces? You a Scorpio? You're just like, your feelings are your feelings all over the place. Like, you're not actually concentrating on what the game is. You have already seen the first week of how it works and what happens with the veto. At this point, I'm just like, how do you don't know what's going on? Like, how are you just not paying attention?
Okay. You have inspired me for something here.
Oh.
Is Riley the human embodiment of every sad country music song where
Oh no.
I lost my dog and then I lost my truck. It feels like he just a mopey cowboy, doesn't seem to know how the game works, I will give my game to you, Catherine. And yet Catherine's only telling other people she's not interested in him.
No.
But it's just like such an unbelievable mess. So mopey cowboy doesn't know the game. But I'm fine with recruits too. Just do like a modicum of research before coming into the game. Just like read the rules, understand something.
Yeah, and if you're not willing to do that, pay attention to what's going on when you're at these ceremonies, you're at these competitions. It's not that hard to figure out sort of where you are with it, with your HOH. You get the nominations, you're going to play the veto, and you're going to, have the veto ceremony, the blockbuster, all that. Like, you have been through it already for a full week. You know how it's played. So what is happening?
All right, finally now, Big Brother love triangle, everybody's favorite thing in the entire world. Though this is a very bizarre love triangle. So apparently, Morgan is attracted to Zach. She's basically said as much. She's crushing on Zach. We know Zach's crushing on Lauren. Lauren's not crushing on Zach. And here we go.
Lauren just wants to play the game.
Lauren just wants to play the game. It doesn't seem as though Zach is crushing on Morgan, which this is all being brought up mostly because it's not going to be that important to anything that's happening in the game for live feeders, but you better be prepared. There's going to be like a 5-minute segment on the show because Grodner loves it.
Yeah, and I mean, it could come into play that even if we're continuing on down this road where Lauren is like, I'm just not interested. And Zach is like, I am interested, but I'm not going to pull a Riley about it.
Yeah.
If Morgan is interested in Zach, for her, she might just target Lauren out of the game
Yeah.
just to be like, well, I want to see if there's something here with Zach. If Lauren's not here, then I'm the choice and I can actually make something work. Lauren's not even interested.
Yeah.
So let's just get her out of the game so we can see if there's something here for the two of us. It's so Lauren is in such an unfortunate situation. She seems like she really cares about this game.
Yes.
That she is a strategist in this game. She could have gone really far if Zach wasn't in this game. And it's unfortunate that he is and that he's interested in her. If he wasn't interested in her and Morgan was just, I think Lauren's just going to get taken out because she's a pretty girl that Zach's into, and it's really crap.
Yeah, it stinks. And it would be easier for Lauren if Zach is somebody who was basically Keanu and was a terrible player and would probably be evicted soon. But as we've laid out, Zach's in a really, really good spot.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he's going anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
That is, though, our take on the Big Brother 27 live feeds here. Thank you guys as much for hanging out with us, chatting with us about Big Brother. It is always a good time. And be sure to hit that subscribe button for more updates, more shenanigans, and support us further by joining our Patreon. We have that link in the description, and we always love talking about Big Brother with you guys over there. Thank you so much
Thank you.
to our patrons, and we will see you here next time.